Now, while the global economy is recovering slowly, future setbacks are unavoidable. That's according to analysts from the rating company Moody's.
Their New Year predictions cite global unemployment as a major challenge for 2010, with little upswing in view. In Russia, President Medvedev has emphasized that the government needs to be more active in job creation.
Well, it's the more specialized technical jobs than those for high-skilled workers that President Medvedev said he wants to see more of. When he spoke to the chairman of the independent unions, Mikhail Shmakov, he said again that the country needs to modernize and that the labor market needs to reflect that effort. Well, of course, with the analysts throughout the world being cautiously optimistic, saying that the global economy is on the upswing, the unemployment rates throughout still seem to be plummeting. In Europe alone, 10% of the population were unemployed by the end of last year, and in December the US lost another 85,000 jobs, which put more pressure on the government because the multi-billion-dollar rescue package does not seem to have any impact on that. President Medvedev acknowledged that the labor markets are usually the last to see the effects of an upward-going economy, but he said that it is not a reason for the government to relax. Let's listen to what he had to say.
This is not an excuse for us to sit still. The government, the unions and the employers must be more active in creating new jobs. I have repeatedly stressed this in meetings with regional authorities in particular. My two main questions are always the level of unemployment and the amount of unpaid salaries that companies owe their workers.
The way Russia plans to deal with this problem is to coordinate the efforts of the government with those of the unions and those of the employers. President Medvedev said that what needs to happen is a restructuring of existing jobs as well as the creation of new jobs. So it seems it's good news for expats as well, because Russia will need the expertise of foreign workers and foreign companies, as well as foreign capital, no doubt. But more patience is required. As Evgeny Reisman pointed out, the hiring of staff is usually the last step of an upward-going company.
It takes time to restart old projects, to start new projects, and then to rehire people. Rehiring of staff is made at the last stage.
Even though there are fears that Russia will continue to lose jobs in the first half of 2010 as companies wait for the economy to stabilize and their bank accounts to get bigger, chairman of the independent union, Shmakov, said that at least in one point the situation has significantly improved, and that is the employers' debt to their workers, and that the unpaid wages have now been paid off and the amount of the debt will continue to drop in the next year.
Hopefully here on Prime Time we'll be able to find some kind of upside to this. So we've invited Yuri Yevrosinin from Kelly Services to discuss what will dictate employment prospects in 2010. Thanks very much for joining us. Presumably unemployment is up all over the world, but could you just compare the situation here in Russia with, say, in the US and around Europe? How bad are things in Russia?
It's hard to compare, because in any case there are always different markets, in different situations. But if you speak about Russian market, which we're working with, of course, unemployment rate is growing much slower compared to US market. We faced like 25% unemployment growth last year, and that was basically two main reasons, I would say. First of all, a lot of companies were scared about a crisis, and the fear of crisis was the reason why companies started to cut jobs. And second reason was, of course, which we face, which is seasonal unemployment. Some companies in construction, in agriculture, as they're just finishing summer project and they're finishing some jobs. These are two main reasons.
President Medvedev stated cutting unemployment as one of his main goals. Do you think it could be a success? And if so, how quick can we, battle unemployment?
Speaking about unemployment is very interesting, because starting from September we face a lot of a growth of demand from companies. Companies are seeking for new managers, new workers, new staff, and this is at the same time unemployment is growing. This is kind of contradiction from one side, and from another side, I would say that there is no contradiction at all, because those unemployed personnel which is on the market is probably not in all cases fit.
Not qualified enough.
Not qualified enough in a lot of cases, and sometimes there are different expectations, I would say.
And what sort of people are unemployed currently? What kind of professions are we talking about? If professions at all?
Yeah, for me it's hard to judge. About 2 million or 6 million, it's different estimation about unemployment. From one point of view, it's around 2 million. When Rosstat is calculating, it's about 6 million of unemployed officially registered.
Let's talk about your business in particular. How have you found the situation recently? Who's been most affected in terms of your customers?
I would say that companies are looking for, the main problem is that both candidates and companies should manage expectations. Companies cut some stuff and looking for different managers who are cheaper and working better and more qualified. And this is one thing. And another thing is that managers or staff which are on the market, they're having rather high expectations in terms of salary. And therefore, when you can't meet those expectations. So next year it will be probably the year when both companies and employers have to understand that the market, there is only one market, and there is only one possibility to start growing in the market.
This year 2010 will be marked by people realizing that maybe they have to opt for lower salaries to find a job.
We expect that candidates should start lower salary, and therefore growth of salary which we faced over the past several years.
What about the expat audience? How are expats affected in say, Moscow, St. Petersburg?
I don't think that demand of expats will be growing over next year. So probably in some areas where just qualified specialists, which cannot be replaced by our local staff. In this area, the demand will be growing. And in any other, in all other areas, a lot of Russian managers who are working right now in Europe or in UK, they will probably step by step will come back, and because of different reasons. Because unemployment is growing in Europe, in some cases much faster. Because, for instance, in UK there is a new rule about 50% of tax for bonuses. So a lot of Russian managers who are working successfully in the West, they probably will go step by step, and we're already having such requests from them. They want to come back.
People coming back.
Yeah.
To just look ahead to the coming year, which we've just started, do you think it's going to be a rosy one? Do you see things improving in general?
Yeah, basically I'm optimistic, because in general crisis, everybody is tired. Speaking about crisis and speaking about problems and about black things, and of course this should not long forever. I'm optimistic, and I think things are improving and will get much better next year.
Hopefully so. Yuri, thanks so much for coming. Yuri Yefrosinin from the Kelly Services Recruitment Company.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.